So here you're looking at your schools. Okay, but let's say you're interested in something besides schools. Let's say I want to go into that school, and what I'm really interested in is looking at the teachers in that school. Okay, and this is where Lori. This is what she does. She brings up, as a principal, all the teachers in her school and can actually look at the growth on those teachers. So this is going in, calculating the 4th and 5th graders, maybe. It's taking a while. We'll give it a minute before I click out. All right, we'll go back to school. I'm going to pick just one grade, maybe that'll go faster. So there's the different courses that I'm teaching. Break that down by students. So you can actually, those are all the students. Every little dot is a student. The thing about this is you can take that on Terrence Mutter and go right back into his LDS longitudinal data and see all the history of that, because it's all, remember that big blue blocks in there, it's all connected? So you can go right back into that longitudinal data and see all that. So it's down to this level. You can take this to, you can look at your different subjects, you can look at your different tests, you can look at your different grades, you can look at multiple years. It's all out there, and it will just continue to grow and grow and grow. I was trying to do it by teachers, so let's see if I can drop it back to school again. And I pick that one school and then do it by teacher, maybe it'll generate this. This tool is, you can get lost in, and not lost in a bad way, lost in a good way as far as analytics. It just opens so many different doors and pieces of information, but it's all based on the same thing. For some reason, it doesn't want to generate that teacher view. So let's go pick that. Eagle Charter, okay. Let's go pick that guy. Do that by teacher. Problem with demo systems is they're demo systems. The data's not always loaded correctly. So I'm going to pick mathematics.
Bob, we're coming up on when we have a great time. Could you make sure to talk about what resources are you've kind of got plugged into there now, what will be there?
Currently, there are 18,000 resources plugged into TRL. Teachers can go in and see those 18,000 resources, and we've got that in 7 pilots right now. As we add out the rest of the Georgia virtual school curriculum, we'll probably be adding another 30,000 resources out there. So in total, probably in the neighborhood of 50,000 resources just from Georgia Virtual School that will be maintained on an ongoing basis. Learning Village, we've got about 6,000. Thinfinity, we've got another 2,000. And then we're also always looking for other resources. We're working with a consortium of other states right now, Ohio, Massachusetts, North Carolina, and I can't remember the last one. Looking to trade digital resources, because now with the Common Core, we're developing common resources. So we actually have an inventory from all those other states that we're working to say, how do we bring those resources in to this? So that will exponentially increase what we have here. So one last tool let me show you. It's the piece de resistance, I will call it. It is the dashboard. The reason I want to show you this, the reason I want to show you the dashboard is because the dashboard is what people can use to do data mining any way they want. And it also has the sharing collaborative tool built into it that I wanted to show you. So we're going to go to dashboards. I'll do this in 3 minutes. Now imagine your teacher performance data, or your student growth data, or your attendance data, or your any data that's in LDS, and being able to take it and pull it down into a dashboard like this. And I've got different ones here, but I'm going to go in and go into CRCD data. I'm going to click on that green bar, and what it's going to do is start writing SQL. It's going to write queries for you, but you don't have to do that. It does it for you, and it puts it into a visual setting. So what I'm looking for is essentially assessment data for these different grades who met. And I did it by ethnicity, so I can do this, blow this out, and it actually will take all the subcategories, who's in each one, okay? But let's say I'm not interested in ethnicity, I'm more interested in students with disabilities. So I'm just going to drag students with disability up to this line here. Drag it up to this line here. And it will bring that in. So now, just by dragging these things around, you're actually generating all new reports. And it does it, so you can see students with disabilities across the different grades. You've got these charts down here, but let's say, you know, how's another county doing compared to me? You can go in and grab another district, drag that up here, and say, oops, gotta get it in the right spot. I want to actually understand another district, so let's go in and pick a neighboring district, which is Adele. How do you say that? And just like that, you've got yours and another district. You know, this is what people have been asking for, the ability to compare their data to other places. This is what the dashboard tool is going to do. And the power in here is phenomenal. And then we've added this, My Wall. My Wall has the ability to go out and post. It's Pinterest inside of the DOE. So you have the ability to go out and post these queries, these charts, and imagine the same thing inside of TRL. The same tool is going in TRL where a teacher can post lesson plans, assessments, whatever, and you can follow the teachers, and you can follow other teachers. So basically, here's what this person has. This is all of Pinterest. It's not Pinterest, it's DOE. But here's all the stuff they posted out, queries they like, tools that they're using. Here's posts that that teacher has put out there. Here are posts that that teacher is following. Some other teachers that they really like, or other principals. Let's say Lori has done a phenomenal job with the growth model and wanted to put out a post about here's a query I use for teacher evaluation. Every principal in every middle school principal in Georgia can follow her and get that same thing. That can be done with teachers, principals, superintendents. So this is our collaboration site. This is where we're going to share these resources. So I wanted to show you that. There's more to this system than I can possibly show you. But if you look at that progression map, that's what we're trying to accomplish. And these tools are those things that we're trying to accomplish. So if you ever like a more detailed demo, I'm happy to give it to you. Just give me a call and we'll set up something that's more detailed.
Can you talk a little bit about, I noticed on one page you had the rating, where I guess you should rate the resources. That we talked about in the past. Can you talk a little bit about that? And
sure.
How that not really, I guess, the Pinterest-like thing?
Yep. That is our TripAdvisor, we'll call it. It's like Pinterest. Because what we found is, even though the DOE believes that we know what's best for every district, what we find is that most districts do not agree with that. So, what we're doing, I'm going to go back into that middle school teacher. I think I was using this Roger. All right, so here's that math teacher again, right? And he's going to go in and he's got to teach something tomorrow morning. Remember, this is 7/24, all is available. Do it at home, do it any place you want. You don't have to be at the school to do this. Same for kids, same for parents. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to teach this standard, that standard, and that standard, and I want to load some resources. They've already done their differentiation, they know what they want. Here's the resources. What we do over here is we give teachers the ability to give this resource a rating. It's called crowdsourcing. Teachers know best what they like, and the more, it's called the theory of large numbers, the more people you have looking at something, the more accurate that analysis is going to be. So what will happen is 5-star resources will float to the top. Things that we thought were a great idea but nobody likes will float to the bottom. There'll also be a usage count, so you'll know, is it 5 stars with one teacher using it, or is it 5 stars with 50 teachers using it? And then we also have a comment section, so they can actually go and add comments about, I used it this way, or this worked better. So this is also a collaborative area, but not to the same degree as the wall. But they could easily take this folder right here, go to my folders where they've been actually doing all this stuff, and this could go to the wall. They would paste that to the wall. And here's my lesson plans for the last 2 years that I've been using, and it's on the wall. So it's all, again, the same system, it's all tied together, but that's how we plan on keeping our content current.
So there's kind of two separate, there's the DOE resources that are part of the rating system there, and then you have the capability for teachers to upload their own content, but that kind of stays separate.
They can rate that too. But if
So it
you
can be
go
rated, but there's no,
right here, there's state resources and district resources. That middle box, PRL, is where the districts will load their own content. So there's 3 levels here. First of all, the district puts stuff out, and then the teachers and districts don't think it's all that great because their stuff's better. Then you go to the district, and the district puts their stuff out, and then you have teachers who don't think the district stuff's so great, and they want to do their own thing. So what we're doing is we're like, everybody can load their own stuff. But what we don't let people do is if you're in a district, populate it out to a state. Because if it's a state resource, we have to ensure that it's been vetted and it does fit our requirements. What we've done in the past, and this has always been problematic, is GSO, which is our Georgia Standards Order. We used to let anybody post stuff out there, but then you would get these thousands of pieces of lesson plans and stuff that were not all that great. And then teachers would spend a lot of time going through stuff that they didn't think was that great. So to keep that from happening again, the state stuff will be vetted and aligned. The district and teacher stuff will go out there based on whatever they want to do, but it will only go to that district or only go to that teacher. It won't go beyond that. There is a method to submit it to the state if they want it in the state. So that collaboration can take place, but only if a district wishes to do that.
we can talk a little more about the incentives with that and our discussion later on. We can talk about the content sharing and things.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. At the outset, you indicated that there's 7 years of data, and that heretofore that every year the districts would destroy the digital data and keep the paper record, but yet you have 7 years of data here. Did they just go back and put that data back into this new system?
No, the state didn't have to, or the district had to do nothing to make this happen. What they've been doing for the past 12 years is sending their data to the state for federal reporting. We have to keep that data. So we have.
So they delete it at the local level.
They do it at the local level because it costs money in the local system to save that.
Okay.
And so they deleted it.
So you had it out.
We've always had it. And so we're just giving it back to them. That's why it shouldn't be a state branded system. It's their local district information going back to them.
Bob, did you see the data uploads, the time it takes to be able to do that? Is that going to get a little quicker? For example, we just done the end of course test in December. How quick is the turnaround now for that?
Well, we did CRCTs last fall, or this last spring, and we turned around in 24 hours. CRTs, the minute we got them from assessment, they were out there. End of course test is proving to be a little more complicated because the assessment folks are doing some more massaging on it than they were the CRCT. So we're working with Melissa Fincher's group to make sure that we get that as quickly as we can. It takes us 24 hours to get into LDS once we get it. So we can get in there quickly, but we do have to get it from assessment.
That's really, is that more at the district level or does it drill all the way down to the?
All the way to the teachers. The minute it hits LDS, what we did last year is we put a little indicator for your assessment director at the district level to say, release this, and then they release it to everybody. So first we put it out there, and then it's up to the district as to when it gets spread, but we get it to your assessment director in 24 hours.
Well, we do that fairly quickly, particularly, when we had the CRCT in the spring, and we're looking at the retest.
Right.
We want to turn that right around real quick because we want to know who those kids are that need remediation prior to the retest.
We did that last year,
Yeah,
and there were 67 districts that within 24 hours had turned that switch and were using the data.
Can you measure utilization?
Oh, yeah.
So you understand who's using it
Down to the click.
and other people, principals or superintendents could also measure
They all have the
and
dashboard.
time on, so they can't just go in and click and say, I did it.
It's usage by click, so you can actually go in as a principal and see what teachers are using it and what functions they're using it for.
Okay.
You can also track the digital resources that they're using and what they're doing with them. So we have that all tracked. We have to for FERPA reasons. I mean, we have to log every time a person's in looking at student information. It has to be logged.
So Bob, should this make obsolete teacherspayteachers.com for Georgia teachers?
Teacherspayteachers.com. I don't know what teacherspayteachers.com.
I think that teacher in Warner Robins earned $2 million last year.
That's right.
Seriously, well, there's a website called Teacher Pay Teachers, and they put teacher-created resources on the internet for sale. And there's at least one Georgia teacher that allegedly has earned over $1 million. Lori says she's got some in her district that have made over 10,000.
Yeah.
So in other words, but the thing about this, we have the better opportunity to align resources in a system like this, as well as to ensure the quality is there.
Yeah. We can, all the stuff that you guys pay for now, we're trying to do for nothing. Because we're trying to leverage what we already have. Now, and I know there's still going to be people saying, but that's not what I want, that's not good enough. But what you have today is nothing. And so this is a whole lot better than nothing. Is it as perfect? Is it the best resource out there? Maybe not, but it's certainly better than what you have today as a teacher, which is nothing unless you go in and get something and pay for it. So that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Quick question, you made a comment about a website that parents can go to.
Yeah.
At least members of the community can go to. Is that on the GABS?
Yes. Let me, and Sam's having a word, I know.
No, actually, I
Bob,
think
the
this is good
parent
momentum.
portal, is it ready? It's not ready yet.
No, the parent portal is
But-
built,
Yeah,
but we haven't opened it up yet. But I'm going to show you where parents can get all this stuff.
from their district.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me-
We have it in Canvas, we have a parent portal.
We don't have the parent portal on yet. First of all, it's a district call, so they'll actually turn it on. We haven't given it to the district yet because we want teachers to be comfortable with this tool before we start giving it to parents. So we're talking about this spring, opening up to the districts that use it heavily. Then we'll give it, and then the parent portal, they can turn it on if they want. And then the parents will start seeing the same things that the teacher sees, but just for their child. But before that happens, if you want these resources, right now, you can go to that website, which is the GABS site. You can go to resources. This is what Lori did. And when you're on resources, you can go after the, right here. There are all the resources. So let's say you want, what we were talking about social studies before. Social studies, right? So here's what's available in social studies through the GABS school. These are different social study courses. You want to look at world history. You go into that. Ancient river valleys, you click on view. And what you're in now is the Georgia virtual school courses. You are going to get exactly what 25,000 kids who are taught in Georgia virtual school, you're going to get the same resources that they get. And here they are broken down. They're all interactive. They're all digital. I mean, nothing is there's no textbooks in GABS, obviously. So it's loading up slowly. So there it starts with the essential questions, key terms. This stuff's all interactive. You got the module minute, describes the whole thing, major assessments. This is an interactive thing here. But the whole thing is laid out as far as the course goes. The whole lesson's planned out for the teacher. There's the Mesopotamia, there's an interactive session there. So, I mean, there's some discovery education stuff put in there. That comes from GPB. So, I mean, it's all put together, and anybody can have this right now. Anybody can have this right now. Any of you can log in right now and have this stuff. But it's the same stuff that we use in the virtual school.
Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break, and we'll come back. And I was thinking we could actually, we'll switch the next two discussions to actually keep this discussion going and talk about perhaps how we can incentivize teachers to upload content. As it stands now, if I'm a teacher, I can upload